So, one of the things we do in midlife, actually just in general, is we talk about, you know what, I will do this when, and now as we're getting close to retirement, we're like, you know what, when I retire, I will travel more, I will work on my health more, I will go see my family more, I will do X, Y, and Z more. Like we are constantly waiting for something to come to decide, hey, yep, we're going to do something. But the truth is, now that we're in midlife, waiting is truly not an option. We don't have all these years in front of us that we did back when we were teens and in our 20s and our 30s. And so, truly, the time is now. So, saying, hey, I'm going to wait until retirement to do X, Y, and Z, not working anymore. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And yeah, let's talk about what it's going to take to stop waiting and start living now before we retire. Hi, I'm Rayanne, and I started Midlife Out and Loud, a YouTube channel that helps queer Gen X women get out of their own way so that they can live their best life. Join me on this journey as I do the exact same thing, get out of my own way. And so today we're going to talk about waiting or truly not waiting until retirement. And I'll kind of take a peek at my notes. But truly, one of the reasons why waiting is such a bad thing for us at this time is because our best years are now. And so, depending on when you choose to retire, some will retire early, right? Some will retire like in their 40s, 50s. Some will retire in their 60s. Some may retire in their 70s. And as we get older, our health, our years, where we can really truly enjoy life, it does, it gets smaller. And I talked about in a previous video about the go go years and the slow go years. And in the go go years, that is really your time to get out there and enjoy life. You have more of your health, you have more time, you have the money in place. And then in your slow go years, your body's slowing down. Mentally, too, you're like, you know what? I'm just not as much, as interested in getting out there. And I want to just kind of settle in at home, enjoy where I'm at. And that's fine. And so that is one of the things that I want to talk about is right now, if you wait until retirement. So, for example, for me, I am 52 right now, and I said I would retire in 10 years or less, which I'm really hoping is less, and that's what I'm working towards. Um, but yeah, waiting till I'm 62 to say, okay, now I'm going to travel. Now I'm going to start working on, enjoying my hobbies, visiting more family. A lot can happen in those 10 years. A lot happens health wise. Even I've noticed just in the last year, things that have changed. And I don't want to wait to then say, okay, let me enjoy. And so truly the you think about what are the impacts of waiting. So first, your health isn't guaranteed. And I talked about that. Like my health has changed so much in the last year. Now I've got to work back towards it and who knows what that's going to end up being like. But I have a lot more in control than I think, but sometimes perimenopause can be a bitch. Oops, can I say that? Okay. Anyway, but yeah, so your health isn't guaranteed. And so now is when you really need to say, hey, I'm at my youngest. Let's start doing what I want and when I can with the resources that I have. And I think you should do the same thing as well. I think that is very important is to recognize where you're at now with your health. Take care of yourself, but also recognize that this is your youngest and we're not getting any, younger. Um, and so it's something to just really consider and think about. I think the other thing too, when you're waiting, is that experiences, you may end up missing those experiences that may never come back. And so when opportunities present themselves, whether they're with family, with friends, with some instances, work, hobbies, any other situations that, hey, may or may not come back around, you might miss those. And if you say, you know what, I'll just wait until 1 year, 2 year, whatever it is that you're waiting for, retirement, you may never get that opportunity again. And so, why not actually start considering living right now? So, that's really important. And then the other thing, too, that I think about is regrets, right? So, regrets really compound. Every time you say, you know what, I'm going to wait, and then you look back and you're like, wow, I haven't, that opportunity hasn't come back again. Um, or just, family members, come and go. And hate that, right? Like that's something too, as you get older, you start to realize, okay, time is very precious. Right? Money can come back, but time doesn't. Once time comes and it goes, it's gone. And so that's something that's really stuck with me that I realized it's like now is the time to do things that I enjoy and not wait until retirement. So personally, I have done a lot of waiting. Like I waited to come out. I talked about that in a previous video about waiting to come out when I was 45, 46, like back in 2018. And I don't know what I was waiting for. And I mean, I think I mentioned I was scared. And now I think back to what would my life have been like had I said yes to myself, had I not waited and had come out sooner? What would my life have been like? And I will tell you, it has been a breath of fresh air, a huge relief off my shoulders to actually come out and be my authentic self. And so I have enjoyed that pivot in my life and really wish I hadn't waited as long as I did. So that in itself is, personal testament of, you waited for something and you look back and you're like, wow, I was 45, 46 when I came out, and I could have come out sooner and had lived my true authentic self versus living somewhat true to myself, but with this veil. So I guess I wasn't truly being authentic. And I don't like that. And sometimes I do think back to that and I regret that. And then I think, okay, what else have I held back on that I regret? And there are a number of things, whether it's to travel, whether it's spending more time with family, that now I don't get a chance to spend time with them because the opportunity is not there anymore. That hurts. Friendships also, um, just experiences. And so to me, now as I've gotten older, it really, those regrets compound, and I don't want to continue to feel that way. I want to feel like I have made choices to live my life as best as I can for, the second half of my life. And I want the same for you. So that's something too that I wanted to share. And so moving forward, I think one of the things that I think about is how to start living now. And so when I came out back in 2018, so that's now what, 7 years, um, it was just one of those pivotal moments in my life that once I did it, I was like, wow. And I started living my true self. I started doing things that I enjoyed, and just really putting myself out there. And so now is the time to start living. So even though I'm 10 years out from retirement or less, and I am enjoying my time. And I created this YouTube channel to share my journey. It is called Midlife Out and Loud for a reason, because I want to live out and loud, live to my true self, out authentically. As a queer Gen X female, I want to live loudly and not necessarily like boisterous or all of that. Just again, true to myself. I'm not quiet. I'm not meek. I am enjoying life to the fullest and making use of all the resources that I have at hand and enjoying the time with my family and traveling. So traveling is huge for me, right? So for me, that's what living out loud is all about. And that's what it means for me to start living. And so I want that for you as well. So truly start thinking about when, even though we've got, you know, I have 10 years, you may have 5 years, 10 years, 15 years before you decide to retire, look at different ways that you can enjoy life now. And I apologize because I look at notes. But think about, what does freedom, like redefining freedom for you with regards to how you enjoy life, how you maneuver through life. I work a lot, but I also make time for family and friends. I make time to walk my pet, walk my dog Oakley, enjoy nature. And I am redefining freedom as making these choices for myself and prioritizing what is important to me and not letting others' priorities drive what I do day to day. Work takes a lot of time, but it's also a lot of work, for myself to say, I need to draw a line when it comes to work so that I can also enjoy my life and make sure those priorities are aligned to my values and beliefs. The other thing is, another step to really start living now and not waiting is to create these micro adventures. And so we think sometimes when we're retiring, we think, oh, we've got to do these big grand travel adventures or trips. But truly enjoying life now are can be these small micro adventures. Look at something in your community, in your town, in your city, your state that you can do over a long weekend or even a day trip. Do something different. Pick up a new hobby and start small, right? Think about something like that and think through what do you have enjoyment or what brings you enjoyment and start there and start thinking through, okay, what would I like to do now that I want to take into retirement? That's something also where I'm talking about bridging this gap. And I've talked about, planning right now for what retirement will look like for me and taking those steps to prepare for that. And because really, what is retirement but a pivot in where you're currently at in life? And so it's just making those changes. And I'm taking those little steps now and doing little micro adventures. Yes, that's, yeah, micro adventures that I think you should also try. So think about it. Spend some time thinking, hey, what do I like? What do I enjoy? What can I do locally that isn't going to cost a lot of money, but you know, brings me joy and excitement. And then the last thing too is building community. So I think one thing for us who are queer Gen X women is sometimes it's hard to find community and other like-minded individuals like yourself. And um, I know, I guess, even in just midlife and adulting, sometimes just finding friendships and finding community is not the easiest. And I know I tend to be very comfortable at my house. Sometimes putting myself out there in the community is tough, but I want it, right? I don't want to sit and just be by myself. I want to share my journey. I want to share my experiences. I want to hear about other people's experiences. And so that also brought me to, again, starting this YouTube channel to help share my journey and then also learn more about other people out, not just locally, but globally. And so to me, that is something that I'm really excited about. So truly waiting to do something that you enjoy and saying you're going to wait until retirement to do it is to me not the right answer. You deserve to live now, and I deserve to live now. Everyone deserves to live how they want now and not have to wait till something. And it doesn't have to be big and grand, it can be something small and start small. And so that is something that I want for you. And if you enjoyed this channel, please subscribe. I also have a school community by the same name, Midlife Out and Loud, and would love for you to join that community, our tribe, and share your experiences and share what brings you joy and how are you going to start living now before retirement. And then also, if you're already retired, hey, come on in and share with us what how you went through that transition and share your experiences with us because we would love to learn from you as well. So I've enjoyed your time. Thank you so much. This was something that has been on my mind as I think through just, hey, where I'm at and where I'm going. And so wanted to share all of that with you. So again, thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you next week.